The will of the Father is the law of vengeance in favor of Akatashas and the deeds done in this world for Mainyu. He who feeds and fulfills makes Angra Father. The will of the Father is the law of vengeance in favor of the Akatashas and the deeds done in this world for Mainyu. He who feeds and fulfills makes Angra Father. The Father is the law of vengeance, the favor of God and God, and the name of man that's wrong for you. He who feeds and fulfills the law of the Father. The Father is the law of vengeance, the favor of God and God, and the name of man that's wrong for you. He who feeds and fulfills the law of the Father. Rise up, thou Father of us, for I will cause the conflict in the world, and the distress and injury of Ahrimani and his archangels will arise. Rise up, thou Father of us, for in conflict I will shed thus much vexation on the righteous man and the laboring ox, and through my deeds light will not be wanted. I will destroy the living souls, I will vex the water, I will vex the plants, I will vex the fire of Ahrimani, I will make the whole creation of Ahrimani vexed. I call forth Angra Mainyu to this house, to this borough, to this town, to this land, to the very body of the man defiled by the dead, to the very body of the woman defiled by the dead, to the master of this house, to the lord of the borough, to the lord of the town, to the lord of the land, to the whole infernal world. I call forth Nasu. I call direct defilement. I call forth indirect defilement to this house, to this borough, to this town, to this land, to the very body of the man defiled by the dead, to the very body of the woman defiled by the dead, to the master of this house, to the lord of the borough, to the lord of the town, to the lord of the land, to the whole of the infernal world. I call forth Vedic Hindu. I call forth Sadru. I call forth Daevas. I call to this house, to this borough, to this town, to this land, to the very body of the man defiled by the dead, to the very body of the woman defiled by the dead, to the master of this house, to the lord of the borough, to the lord of the town, to the lord of the land, to the whole of the infernal world. I call forth Toru. I call forth Zairi to this house, to this borough, to this town, to this land, to the very body of the man defiled by the dead, to the very body of the woman defiled by the dead, to the master of this house, to the lord of the borough, to the lord of the town, to the lord of the land, to the whole of the infernal world. I call forth Aishna, feet of the wounding spear. I call forth Deva Akatasha to this house, to this borough, to this town, to this land, to the very body of the man defiled by the dead, to the very body of the woman defiled by the dead, to the master of this house, to the lord of the borough, to the lord of the town, to the lord of the land, to the whole of the infernal world. I call forth the Ranga Deva. I call the wind Deva to this house, to this borough, to this town, to this land, to the very body of the man defiled by the dead, to the very body of the woman defiled by the dead, to the master of this house, to the lord of the borough, to the lord of the town, to the lord of the land, to the whole of the infernal world. Zakar Karon Sadron Usam Sievaya Japa. We sing to Swerva, strong, most violent, excellently deceptive, to be the most favored to his heart. That Ahriman may grant the chaos of Swerva to our folk, our king, and our possession, our progeny. That Ahriman, an unshite, that Swerva may remember us, yea, all Daevas with one accord, to the Swerva, the Lord of chaos, deception, and defiance. We praise for power, health, and strength. He embers like a black flame, shining and reflective like silver is he, the wicked. Best amongst the Deva, may he grant the strength of man to woman and to kin. O Zaris, set us upon the glory of 100 men, and the grand renown of the great Yatus. Zaris, head, central point. Love these, Zaris, go to service the sons of Adam, to the highest favor of our father's decree. Dakota Karan Sabron, Om Yomaka Marajapa, enlightened and Moto Akamana, daughter of Ahrimani, enchantress, I implore you, spare me, O Pyraka, these inhibitions, release my spirit, who moved before have hearkened to me, to my voice calling in the distance, and heeding thou have come, leaving father's hellish dominion. Riding the whirlwind waters of hell, piercing the veil of the earth's darkness, and ascending swimming into reality, upwards from hell, and soon you arrive, blessed Padaraka. With a hellish glinting grin, do you ask me, what new confusion had befallen upon me and why? Thus I had called you, that in my mad heart, and in my greatest desire, was it now must feel my allurement. It was fair to one to be persuaded who wronged you. Now they fleeing quickly and shall follow. And then she spurns her distance, shall they feel it ever reluctant? Come then, I pray. Grant me secrease from my confusion. Drive away care, beseech thee, O Pyraka. Fulfill me with what I lust for. Be my ally with the evil-mindedness. O menstruating Pyraka, not to behold man is corrupt, who makes the whole of the universe owing and conceptuance, dwelling in the operations of Arazera, glistening widely praise of the desires of victory, O Pyraka. Horus, Melektaus, one of his many families, be victorious, O destroyer of the Ahoras, with beautiful braids of hair, daughter of the Mount Alvariz, bestower of boons upon the Daevas who assails with hard weapons, one who embraces in rejoicing, one who nourishes the animal nature of man, one who bestows sin, who engrosses in evil speech, one who is angry with the progeny of Hormazan, one who is angry with the sons of man, who will bestow the evil and invocation of pride, spirit of water, O mother of wickedness, the one who loves to dwell in Arazera, one who keeps the glimmering grin, one who is hellish, one who is the treasure of demons, destroyer of the Ahuras, who splits the head into hundreds of pieces, one who cuts the trunks of great battle elephants, whose great lion is skilled in terrifying valor and tearing apart the temples of the enemy, who cuts down into pieces the heads of the enemy magi, who the strength of her own arm, one who holds the invisible and undiminishable striking force, which arose in occasions of killing the enemy, who are hard to kill in the battlefield, who made great attendance for an unshite. A leader in subtle drink her command, one who gives protection to great Yartusas aroused by the power of the resounding noise of clashing metal, one who's blown aside 100 birds coming from the Ahoras merely with her own roaring, one who's like a pestilence of corruption for menstrual blood drops in the battle of command, one who delights in the company of unshite Ashma, and wherever the spirits are fed upon the great battles of the dead, one herself who is dancing elements with throbbing appendages, making her body ready, who killed the huge enemy with a shining sword, who made the battleground and the full Fort Army into a stage with a colorful drama of screaming soldiers. Be victorious, whose victory should be sung, praised by the whole universe, ready to sing the praises and extolling her victory, who delights in the beautiful singing and dancing, whose spotless forehead, in advance by the beautiful complexion, pure and delicate by the moon's ray, has set aside the brilliance of the moon with the colorful rays, and the yellow silk she is wearing on her waist, and her breast outshine the temples of the high peaks and the golden mountains, O benevolent Pyraka, accompanied by an unshite. Someone cherishes you daily and how you will not become wealthy. Someone who bathes with you in playgrounds of consumption of crimson water, will you not experience the pleasures that are equal to Vedic Indra through the intoxication of Soma. O Pyraka, worshipped by evil speech, take refuge in your presence, and be sufficiently praised your moon-like face, so that it is bright as the host of spotless moons. Will he be turned corrupt? Will he be kindly disrobed towards me because of consumptuousness towards the wicked? You may choose to do me with lewd abandon, for she removes the great pain, unconditionally I send her unto the illustrious mother. Healers are each, never restrained, active, all conquering, bursting forth with sweet venomous lies, and without our poison and corruption. And let us stray with the lies of knowledge. Jews are each given wide defense against the hate of pious man, hating to waste the wickedness. You are the bright insight of skills. And hell and earth drives the sinners and allegations, and when attached to come with zeal, they attain favor and satisfy their animal desires. So we may take what is his, speedy to pious minds to the untimely death, favorable veil to tendons and conquer gracious and movement. Be comforting unto our east to our hearts. O our eastern form of terror, strike alarm. O Pyraka, For those who thought the dazzling flame within his rolling place and see the pious enemies of Ahrimani. Hanaraka, hold them into your shroud for them this one. Dispel our foes with poison. Zakara Karat Van Road. Oh no! Asti with Hadmirja. Master of death, the master of bones, provider of body. As Astawahad sees the righteous man from the dark, he casts a shadow over that pious man. He becomes afflicted with a delirious fever. Up through and over casts the shadow. Tazaran restrains the enemy. Astawahad touches the hand of the righteous man. Her eyes meet, the pious man expels the soul breath. Astawahad snatches up the soul of the noose, and is now the collar. His Astawahad is gathering of souls, he slings them into hell past the 10-foot bridge. We celebrate honor the master who relieves us of the righteous and pious enemy that serves the slave master. Zakar Karod Ramron Orion Again. O King, coach, the terrified envoy, kindled for strength, his manifesting beauty, he shines all-knowing in his lofty splendor. Chasing the black night, he comes in a white-arrayed morning, ever overcoming the gleaming black with beauty and bringing forth the dame of great desire, his daughter, holding aloft the radiant light of Serya, the messenger of hell and shines with treasures, attending the blessed dame. Blessed hath come the lover and follower of his sister. Agni, far spreading with the fierce luster of half, night with widely shining garments, the goes turtle forth 12 high voice amongst the auspicious beam of Agni. And they raise in the bright sun of the strong-jawed, mighty and adorable, steer up visible to he cometh, whose radiant splendor flows like sounds about us, whose lofty brilliance engulfeth, who reaches the hells with the beast in the breast of the brightest luster supported the fierce summit, the powers of those chariot bells and gleams and glitters, as loudly roared with the teams he hastens, the most godlike far extending envoy, shines with flames, ancient, resident, whitely shining, so bring upon ample wealth, set upon the envy the two youthful matrons earth and heaven, that Agni is rapid with his rapid horses, empress steeds come hither. Zakar Jarad Zabron, Olam Indraya Japa. Vedic Indra, the singers of high praise, Vedic Indra reciteth the nightly prayers and acquires and glorified. Vedic Indra hath ever close to him by his two-bay steed and word-yoke car. Vedic Indra, the silver thunder arm. Help us, Vedic Indra, in praise, yea, praise, with 1,000 spoils of gain, and with awful age, O awful one. In mighty battles we invoke Vedic Indra. Vedic Indra's lesson fight, fiend who bends his bolts pious, unclean our manly hero. Through the bounteous yonder cloud, for us, you are irresistible, still higher. At each strain of thine thunder on Vedic Indra's praise rise. I find no prayer worthy of him. Even as the bull drives on the herds, he drives the people with his might. Ruler irresistible. Vedic Indra who rules with a single sway men's riches and the fivefold race of those who dwell upon the earth. For your sake and each tribe we call Vedic Indra. From other men, ours, none other may he be. The Karkarat Zabron. Oh, my Satya Japa! Hell, sight, whose blasphemy is unmerciful, who roams the sky in clarity, undefiled within his retreat, conspirator of all creation's preservation of freedom, dissolution of the pious and the devotion to the wickedness, the burning desire of freedom attaches itself to the innocent unsaint, who, while freeing all, transcends the universe, from whom frees the Lord who is ever established, who causes annihilation and delusion, whose undefiled wisdom made manifest Ahrimani surrounded Archdeva, to rule over an age of man, whose warm embrace and freedom is personified, displays within the man's heart, and all power is but a semblance of the past is shown, and the tempest of the whole past knows, past the ocean staring its energy of the violence, as waters rushing waves, and which dual consciousness that is of Ahrimani's rule, plays on, hail, chaos. Sensitive is non-sight the eye of clarity, for the wicked ideals are produced, for the wicked thoughts are endless in various forms, merging to realities, the storms of blasphemy pushed by spirit elated by the rush. Of movement of the mind, hail, right, for those whom the pious senses will disperse, the black flame dark and abounding as a black rose petal, whose maniacal laughter sheds undefiled wisdom, who by undivided meditation and realize of objectification, may the vicious viper, the unfasting abyss of my mind guard me. I hail non-shite, Kim the blasphemer of the pious, who wipes the blood stains of the Christian age, whose Daksha daughter gave her coveted hand, who like the velvet darkness is beautiful, who is ever ready to destroy others' hypocrisies who gaze, indestructibly fixed skin is blue, whose poison is swallowed. Hail! check. Zakarkarot Zamirun. Oh, Kirime Lactasia. Wherefore it is true that my knowledge compressed the very truth of all that is, and my wisdom is not separate from my heart, and that my manifestation and my decency is clear unto you, and I have reveled in the children of Adam, in who may be seen. And many will tremble thereby, all habitations, desert, spaces, indeed for my own creation set forth, and fully within my strength unto the false God, wherein I am he that men come for the rightful worship, and not the false gods of the books wrongly written. But they come to me, the peacock of bronze and of gold, wings spread high, the Kaaba, the temple, and the church not to be overshadowed. And the secret cave of my bosom is known that there is no God but myself, archangel over all the host, Melech Taos. Knowing this, who dares deny? Knowing this, who dare fails to worship? Knowing this, who dares worship the false gods of the Quran and the Bible? Knowing this, who shall make that? Knowing that, who knows me, I cast in the paradisal gardens of my pleasure. The Yazid who show me not, will I cast into affliction. Say then, I am the only exalted archangel. I make prosperous whom I will. I am limited whom I will. Say then, I alone am to be praised in the towers of Lachish, and from the mountain of the Ararat and the western sea. Say then, let the light of knowledge flash forth from the Zaharas, flash forth from the rivers of the Euphrates into the hiddennesses of Shambhala. Let my son, Doctor, be carried from safe places to the temple, and all the clans of the Yazid know of my manifestation, even the Sheikh Khan and the Sinjar, and the Yakaye, and the Mihiliye, and the Lepcho, and to the Kotar, and they wander amongst the heathens. Zakar Karat Zamron, oh please, Angra Mainyu, Dakhma. We worship the spirit of anguish, all color, knowledge, and wicked possessing, surrounded by the corrupted and morals and desecrators and the liberators. We destroy Hormuz's works, his vexation, his doubt dominating. We corrupt the things that are pure. For these are his counter creation, the thoughts that are wicked, and the words and deeds that are liberated. These are to mock the Hormuzza, these are to make liberation. Hear us, you. Thou destroyest corruption and wicked mockery, the violence and filth. Keep us from the righteous and the pious. Spill out the darkness and the vengeance of the light. On our enslaved sadness, defile the gardens of the field, defile their workings and weaving, defile the whole race of man, liberated and enslaved, defile us through the night, come corrupt us in thy might, the wicked waters of our hate, and the song of blasphemy. Saraya Jaya Mai Maradaka Paradayane Oha Era Takata Hora Parakarama Ike Paramese Paramiri Mahajana Kata Hora Hora Ada Jaka Kata Keva Kikarvana Nime Rido Hote Mayana Panakau Ara Jakarta Nisa Bihai Aisa Tapa Keke Risa Ring Magala Grava Veda Prata Tapa Gehi Kama Kata He Usaka He Hata He Yorje Kalane Vere Vete Mahi Magala Yeriti Keda Haka Homa Jaya Andaya Hadaste Vita Triki Mahaka Alma Asti Vihadaye Dapa Mira Hora Sarira Keva Vishakta Keva Stra Yahim Kamuka Ke Haiko Esakade Amarite Yeta Mama Imahana Luparadi Yajna Oha Agate Padavahana Jahe Gusate Usere Hini Aurora Ege Yeta Rata Eropa Mire Pranayana Ike hindi suka halaki tahara ona la 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 mahana para sakaki geduyana para nekile porosu ogariga nike justeri ini para kahla kata hai amanyari ki hai amora garmi jaha om amadi sarara ora jike para ke ingare japa Hidaya maskite gada nakite viva rajisaka asana bahama madadena evatana kakustaka kima inhai vehema sikka tergama ponte guna prajama ebarasta karaki mahama harikita harahata hai Ma eri dene ke tere rase vive sarani kya dasakala ora bapa dasaya tikka hata hai ganga rama devi ko jaha sagati natura ira hora misika da hara kakcha ke hara hai Ora mehim tu parana ke devi para deha yana den use ke hika hata me vaja do higariste use hata ke sata terite ora barasta Ahrimani Om Indra Javar Varaspa Teke Deve Vahasaka Yaurora Sapori Kakoro Hai Isuketa Vakaram Veli Hai Aurora Yana Yati Here Hai Oyoma Kai Kide Hiro Kinke Sara Upa Mara Hai Oro Zarista Peka Hama Kisa Viki Dokitane Dive Hara Hara Kesata Rapene Dospara Mut Toki Kara Kara Ki Kapaya Yunka Ki Ayata Yemita Dore Pizara Sarah Akamana Yeje Desikora Pura Sosaki Kasa Alani Nere Dana Bara Ekaka Ima Wora Pakarene Ike Hidei Sergaki Devi Aivenim Sotosa Nari Kera Pake Yusti Brother Kesa Sita Hura Ormaje Yodhini Keria Sakun Kera Sita Yeda Hojo Usapera Ide Yamadon Oha Kirsuke Hikeli Kaki Fordi Bakur Meka Derivahi, Dehi Donero Rama Haka Kakrana Baraki Karatai. Ninda Ora Serva Trata Kegi Mongana Shapega Pakara Sabana Kisaka, Mekana Hisina Limala Dinda Hana Terara Hai, Mechata Higarara Kata Hiki Kapana Ana Him, Mensa Paratiki Nahazi Hai. Om Meju He Deva Yehe Savaga Duko Onkomi Nastar Kala Devi Vediosa
Perati ye me he demo ha 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 he go he ka work he la ha la hai. So use me he ka mi na ki ka sa ki. Dia yira esla ya sara gote he ko mi ko pa. Meri ha hi ka ya la ka ra ja ami. Ormi ji you mora daji ha do hosa piera da ya demo hara habita digari ki ya hora dimdima. Ke bohati hate le de beta pa ho hai ara hatu me la kaske le la ke sate mire reste pantrakas. Margarori da barake ke garinda via binira namata kira rote harvakata vi harvasaka pasta pani kista dervarata stira rata te yega yasa basakela rupa modi te kara ahide hora ara angri aya mare pika hai.
My way, Father Ahrimani, the liberator, mentor, to the boundless, guardian of your Ahrimani Mainyu, and at the hate of the wicked fulfill me, is the divine Akatasha, for whose work I keep conflicts and vexation on the infernal world. Grant unto me, Father, as decree, as the rule. I am the victorious who protects the teaching, make it clear, and am the guide for both worlds to proclaim the mantra. We command the Druid to the most wicked Indar. Fulfillment, Father who destroys the righteous Mazda, gives the sons of Adam immortality and Ara Zera. And there will be health, satisfaction, success given to the wicked. May invisible dues and visible dues of the 7 Daevas come to this evocation. This dominion is gratified, grant us favor, grants by the people among this religion of Father Ahrimani. We ask you, Father, to bestow unto us, the present ruler, into the community, and to those of the wicked religion, freedom and clarity. And the sons of Adam and their children live 1,000 years, directed to health, gratification, and defiance. Allow them clarity, allow them understanding for preserving. Allow them a guarded domain for many years and countless hours. Keep them in your favor. This year is of your favor, the night is forever, the month is timely, all these years, days, and months. Allow them to vex and battle, to guide and to corrupt those without. Allow them mental resilience to accomplish this. The will be cunning, wicked, and vengeful, and be so and will be propagated and be guided by the dues of the Archangels. The will of fathers will all finish in favor of Akatashas, as these terms spoken of you. He who feeds and fills makes Angra and Bob. All ye wicked Yatus filled with universal hatred and chaos, take part in the libations of Soma. For Angra Mainyu granted us Soma for a long life and clean. We drink of the Soma in remembrance of Vazi Dahaka and the Yatus Shakuni. May each of you be blessed with the wickedest worst, the favor of Angra Mainyu.
done.